This clean alternative to cremation involves freeze drying and then shattering your corpse. Unfortunately, we are all going to die. We don't like thinking about it, especially about what would happen to our bodies. Typically, the choices are burial or cremation. However, they come with potentially negative effects, such as overcrowding cemeteries and the release of carbon monoxide into the air. But now there may be a more environmentally friendly, albeit controversial option. It's called cremation. The only thing is this: it's not legal. However, that might change in the future. An alternative to cremation and burial. Cremation is a theoretical process developed by Swedish biologist Susan Y. Massa. It involves freeze-drying the body to prepare it for natural decomposition. Essentially, the body in the casket goes into a large tub of liquid nitrogen set to minus 196 degrees Celsius. Then the casket is removed. It's so brittle that it breaks from minor vibration. The leftover water gets evaporated, and what remains resembles a powder. Magnets remove any metals like teeth fillings. Then the remains go into a biodegradable container that are buried just 1 foot under the earth. This might sound like a strange ritual out of the science fiction novel, but it has worked effectively on deceased pigs, and because the process is still illegal for humans, Wei Massa and her team practice cremation on already dead pigs whose flesh texture is similar to humans. Meanwhile, cremation is the most popular method of burial in the United States. However, it's not good for the environment. It takes about 2.5 hours to completely burn the body. Bodies naturally contain sodium chloride, which releases toxins while burning. In addition to the toxins released by the mercury in teeth fillings and metal limbs, plus the fire cannot burn bones and any added metal. These pieces are destroyed separately in a machine called a cremulator. Additionally, any coffins are bad for the soil. The wood finish can be toxic and gives no nutrients back to the earth. It also encloses the body, preventing it from properly decomposing. However, the biodegradable container used after cremation breaks down over a few months and becomes a fertilizer. Also, people who opt for cremation could be buried at a traditional gravesite with flowers or a tree growing overhead. The fertilizer can help the plant flourish, and hence the cycle of life continues. The cremation is not available yet. In 1997, Wei Massa began to experiment, wanting to find a better option than cremation and traditional burials. So she began to work on her method of ecological burial, quote unquote, but received no legal approval to make this an available option. In the meantime, she's backed by many supporters and investors. Some people believe so strongly in her work that their corpses are frozen in storage until cremation is legalized. In Sweden, the cremation industry pushes back against cremation. It has reached the point that Wei Massa has claimed the Swedish Federation of Cemeteries and Cremation, SKKF, are out to discredit her. It's impossible to know the extent of cremation's benefits and pitfalls until they test it on human bodies, but the Federation of Cremation maintains that Wei Massa's technology does not work and refuses to entertain questions on the process. Meanwhile, Wei Massa holds that cremation may help remove some of the taboos around death. It's an important topic, but a very uncomfortable one. She believes the industry around cremation is using this to their advantage. As she told Wired, she says, "I think it's very convenient for the cremation industry to sustain the taboo because then they can work on their own without any questions," end quote. She thinks it's time for a change in the post-mortem landscape, especially since continuing the cycle of life can feel comforting to grieving loved ones. And despite studying death all her life, she never found the topic depressing. She says, "We don't see the dead body as the final end. Well treated, the body will support something new. Life will continue. And that is going to create a totally new relation to death and dying of the body. It also makes it possible to start talking about death." So this is on Collective Spark by guest writer Sarah Breeren. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.